live. A few minutes late because Don and I were just going back and forth. It was like a wrestling match between two hands, coming up with the best content for you today. This Friday, beautiful Friday. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome from New York. I mean, New York. That's funny.
Miami.
Miami. Don?
I'm in Colorado, and this is a beautiful day out here. Glad everybody could join us now and in the future as far as sharing this later. And really what we want to talk about, which we always have at the top of our list, is what can you learn today that you can use today and get value today, right? Like drive-through. So what we came up with is really
Don, what do you mean the drive-through? That one I don't get.
Well, basically, if you cut to the chase and you compress the time frame based on being relevant and aligned, right? The person you're talking to, there's an alignment, not from you to them, but from you to them and them to you, and hopefully to you to the us. So the point is you're always combing through the responses and the support you're getting from other people on LinkedIn. And the key is, what do you do to ignite that, right?
All right, so let's set this up. What specifically are we going to teach them today?
We're going to go to messaging, right? And Mike is going to share, hey, here's what his outreach message is based on different circumstances.
Specifically, I'm going to share a few of mine, and you're going to share a few of yours.
Yeah.
And, sorry about that. Crazy stuff happened on my computer.
I think this is real life with real data. And, here's the key to everything we're talking about. There is no absolutes on LinkedIn. There's majorities, where the majority will do something. So the point is your outreach has to be you, right? And that's the key. You can't be somebody else, but you can use techniques and get understanding. And the simplest understanding is you are building goodwill and resources every day, right? It's like a log pile. And eventually you should go in there and see what you got and how you can repurpose it. Or more importantly, here's a key, how you revisit where you ended last time, right? There's so many conversations you had that didn't come to fruition. And it was because there was an inequity somewhere, right? Could have been time, money, whatever it is. Things have changed a year later, right? It's easy to go back and say, when we left off, I had an issue with this. I solved that issue, right? Let's have another conversation.
Yeah. So let's get
go into your messaging, share your screen, show people what you're doing, and then I'll give them an insight into kind of what I'm doing.
All right. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. Elizabeth Frisch, amazing lady. All right, so here's where the focus should be. You go to your home or you go to your LinkedIn, your main page, and what is going to determine your success is going to be your Ukraine. This woman is amazing. She definitely pulls at my heartstrings. What's been going on there for 6 months? If you haven't followed Daria, follow her. Send over some money. It's really sad. Anyway, see, this is you build a relationship with people on LinkedIn. This is it. I have a relationship with Daria, and all your success is going to come from your messaging. Mm-hmm. So if you think about what you're looking to achieve, most people are looking to grow their network, grow their conversations, and grow their sales. Some people just their brand, so maybe you're not so interested in the messaging part. But if you want sales, you got to be in conversations, and if you want conversations, the way conversations happen are right here in Messenger. So you click into Messenger, and I guess if you want to judge, are you doing the right activities, then you should be able to look at your messaging from today. So this is from 2:00 today. And basically go down and see all the activity you've got for the day. So that's from 2:00 This is going all the way until 7 in the morning. So I would say, just as a ballpark, this is from the first, that I'm in 20 to 40 conversations every day. And the conversations are, based on very similar pattern. And this is what Don and I often speak about: is if you find someone that is a potential customer, then it's not what you can get, it's what you give. And you build a relationship, and then you ask a logical question. Would you like to jump on a Zoom to see if we can create some magic together, or go through the framework I have, or however you led that conversation? The end part is, hey, by the way, would you like to
Mhm.
jump on a Zoom and either talk about how we can do something together? I can do something for you. Or maybe even, many times I see people that are crushing it, and I ask them if I can meet to pick their brain and see if I can do something for them, and they could do something for me. But unless you're in those activities, you've got
Mhm.
very small chance of manufacturing anything. And the good news is that if you are doing the activities, then this is going to lead to success. I mean, this is, the system works. It's just a failure to use the system. So let's look at Christy. I teach
Mhm.
people how to conduct a strategic job search through one-on-one coaching. And I basically said, I looked at your profile, it came up, and I think we should connect. Great, sounds good, connected. So this is from August 12th, which is the first outreach. And then later that day, she said, great. And at the end of that day, I said, awesome. Here is basically my PDF, LinkedIn winning content types. So, if you're thinking about what you can give, develop a lead magnet. A lead magnet is a short PDF that adds value, that's going to let them know more about what you do and how you do it. And then the whole back of it is all of your brochure. It's about you in detail, what you've accomplished, who you work for, who you've done it for, the results you've got for other people. And by the way, here's how to get more stuff, and here's how to get in touch with me. It's not meant to sell, the lead magnet. It's not a sales device, but it is a asset that you're transferring from your hands into their hands. This is how, like, it's, I refer to it sometimes as a tennis match. Okay, if I'm going to serve it over, which is, hey, you look rather interesting, I'd love to connect, I served it over, and they're going to say, oh, that's cool. They're going to connect. So now
Mhm.
it's my chance to knock up something back over the net. If I just go for um, the jugular and sort of end the volley, then it becomes hard to develop a conversation. So it takes a few back and forth to be in a conversation. So we always talk about, and I always do, I just add value. So I have, 9 of these, amazing documents. I give this one. And then, at some point we follow up and say, this is August 19th now, 12th, 19th. How'd you get the PDF? If you get the chance to look at it, no worries. Say, thanks, sorry for not responding. I'm pretty swamped right now, but I'll check it out soon. So we're in conversation. That was the 19th. That's the 24th. No worries, Christy. So I'm not on or back. No worries, Christy. Happy to discuss later. Wonderful. Certainly, I'll reach out when things settle. Sounds great. Then this is the 24th. We're on the 2nd. In the meantime, you can subscribe to my newsletter. So
Mhm.
um, basically, I don't know why we sent this link. I sent this link because we should put the post there, not this. This is the top level link to the newsletter, but the post is like, you can see what the post is all about.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
error in putting the link in. So anyway, but you can see that's today, added more value. So added value once, back and forth, checking up on her, added value twice, and it's gone from the 12th to the
Mhm.
2nd. So, like 3 weeks. So that's, I would say, a fairly typical back and forth. I'm not, I'm not expecting reach out, great, jump on a Zoom. In
Mhm.
fact, here's a kind of it's a counterintuitive thing to think about. The sooner someone gets on with me, if I'm doing outreach, the worse of a lead. Why?
Mhm.
Because if I'm touching, there's two parts to this. One, if people are reaching out because of inbound, they're the
Mm-hmm.
best. They know, like, and trust. They've been watching your stuff. They
Mm-hmm.
reach out to you
Mm-hmm.
because they become problem aware. You can solve their problem. Mike, I've been seeing what you're doing. It's crushing it. I'm stuck. And, like, what do you do? And how do we get started? Best inbound. It's worth 50 outbound. But you also have to do outbound. And if
Mm-hmm.
you do outbound and it's like, hey, great, connect, cool, get on Zoom. When you get on the Zoom, it's cold. Maybe they looked at your profile, but you're starting from, if 0 to 100, you're starting at 10. It's almost better to go back and forth, give a PDF, maybe they open it, give a video, and
Mm-hmm.
then, in within the couple weeks, if you get on, you're not at 10, you're like at a 30. If they've seen a
Mm-hmm.
video, then they're going to know if they like you or not. So that's kind of my flow, Don.
Well, I think I really mirror that whole philosophy. I've been doing it through all kinds of different vehicles on LinkedIn. So I became huge at polling, right? And then never stopped polling. Huge at tagging, which I'll show you really quickly. Because although I've been really focused on this for 3 years, I've been working hard and smart every day of those 3 years. I had a lot to learn.
Amazing, Don.
Yeah, no, I had a lot to learn and I keep learning. And that's why I'm solely focused on LinkedIn. But my whole thing was I'm a businessman, had 37 years, owned my own companies, haven't had a job since I was 15, and basically saw this opportunity on LinkedIn that was totally fragmented, segmented. But without going into detail, I decided I'm just going to get out there, do more, do better, do faster than everybody else. And it wasn't hard because the bar is so low. Most people don't play, and the people who play don't play well. So you got your own room if that's what you want. Now, what do you do with it? So let me share my screen.
You share it, and then I'll bop it in when it comes in.
Okay. Um, okay, let's go to this.
All right, 1 second. Should be coming up now. Yes.
Okay, great. So anyways, you can see I got a new title. Everything I'm doing right now is focused around LinkedIn Live because just like I was entirely focused on tagging, and then I got into polling, and now I'm into LinkedIn Live. But let me go to where my messaging. So I'll go to messaging, and you can see how I got started and some of the people I'm with. Okay, so if you look at Maria, she's actually in the Philippines, Mike. She's got 70,000 followers, top 100 most influential Filipino women. So if you
Wow.
go to our message, right, this started like Mike did way back, way back. This
Don,
is
can
how
you hit? There's like that little slanty arrow where you're at,
slanty.
right in the
Yeah,
message. Go over to the
this,
right. Keep going to the
that.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, she reached out to me in 2020.
2020, Don.
Yeah,
2020.
everything is 2 years, 3 years. And then we keep going. And then, we become, I think, this is all it is, back and forth, back and forth. And then she says, blah, blah, blah. Can I help her out? Uh, I got all these Zoom calls. And then just recently, Mike, if you look down here, I mean, we've been in touch. I keep inviting her to our LinkTank group, right? So finally, she says, because she gets the time mixed up, good Lord, missed it again. It's like on and on. Because she says that's 3 a.m. my time. So
Yes.
anyways, so finally she said, I'm so embarrassed, but I'll support and join, right? So if you go back to messaging and you keep going, and then let's say we go to, here's an interesting person, Kat, right? If you look at her, she's got 124,000.
Wow.
Yeah, she's everywhere. So anyways, if you look at our messaging here, I mean, we go back quite a ways also. I mean, we're back into the 20s. Again, she reached out to me. Congrats on a new role. Twice she reached out. Thank you for the connection. Keep blah, blah, blah. And it goes on and on and on. So I'm saying is, if then you go to here, right? This was my typical post, right? This was 11 months ago. Look at how many people I tagged. This. This
we're not seeing.
Oh, really? You got to see this. Oh, do I got to share my screen on a different page?
Yes.
Okay, didn't know that. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It gives you reference. So share screen, Chrome tab. Okay, this one. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so here's the post, right? 11 months ago, I gave 35 top LinkedIn posting tips. Give a little story of who I am, have my tags, my 6 tags here, and then I got a poll and I got 1,600 votes. I got 59,000 impressions, 160 comments. But look at the tagging I did. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these people are all as good, if you look at him. Okay. He's got 22,000.
22,000, yeah. I'm a midget compared to all these people.
Well, the point is, for 2.5 years we support each other and still do. So everybody here, I mean, look at Mrs. Sushi. She's incredible. You never know some of these people exist.
We just had some delicious sushi last night.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get stuck with that. But anyways, the point is most of these people either reached out to me, which means that if you got a great profile, if you got great background, and you put out quality content, people search you out too, right? So the responsibility isn't always on you to prove yourself. Once you're proven, it's to make yourself accessible and available. I can stop sharing. But the point is I had 300 people that I still do, and LinkedIn only gives you about 165 tags a day. There wasn't a day I didn't tag out by 12 because
they only let you do 165 tags on a post.
A total day. They don't care where you put them.
I think you might be the only person in the world that knows that stat.
Yeah, and they recharge you at 10 p.m. So because of what it used to be like timeout police would show up, and you don't know it on LinkedIn a lot of times till you're over the line, and then they tell you, right? So the deal was I started to tag at a certain point, and it wouldn't let me tag, right? It would let me write the person's name. So once I figured that out, I only had 125 that I could tag in the post, and I kept 40 to respond to the people, right, to keep it going. So that's where 165 went. Eventually, the strategy took me 8 minutes a day to do because we'll all cut and paste the same names. And here's what I did do, and everybody appreciate this. If you didn't reply to a tag in 72 hours, you were gone.
So you tagged them, and there was a reciprocal expectation that they would say, "Thanks, Don."
At least. But here's the point. If I tag 125 people and they have an average of 10,000 people in their network, and they're significant, right? I picked 300 out of 37,000. Then I'm putting out 10 million. I'm applying myself to a network that's 10 million that's collaborating with me. I could tag Gary V, but it don't mean nothing. because if he doesn't reciprocate, I don't get access to his network. But, you know, if you take people, I mean, it's just amazing the people who are doing good stuff. I'll show you one
So
more.
how do you? So there's a right way to tag, and then I think we can end it for today because we're going over. But there's a right. This is a good place to pivot on this because there's a right way. I've seen people that I don't know, I've never communicated with, tag me, and it feels invasive
Like,
because
yeah, it's
it
spamming.
feels,
You know, I would never tag somebody
yeah. So
that is
tell us Don the right way and what's the
absolutely.
yeah, because that's important.
I find most of the people through direct messaging, because back then I was also using Sales Navigator heavily, right? So I pick out the 125 like we do, go to activity, like we do, say, hey, I saw something, your post, your video, it was outstanding, right? I'd love to have an opportunity to trade some insights with you, right? Share insights, because that's what it's going to come down to for the next 2 years. If everything so far has gotten to trading back and forth, really every no has been a not yet, but I really like you, or I really like what you're doing, or I like how you're doing it. I'm just don't have the time, don't have the blah, blah, blah. And they're forgiven. I do the same thing. Someone says, here's this. I'm saying I'm there. I'm not where you want to be. But hey, I'll always take your call. And the deal is then the challenge is coming up with an offer that's worth it. Now, getting back to tagging the right way. When I see other people in tags, I know they're taggable, right? So what I do is either I'll connect with them. You know, I'd go to places where they had someone tagging 50 people. These were their 50 best. That's how I built my network. I said, hey, if this guy's got 50 already, I'm going to be commenting on his stuff. And by the way, I'm commenting on everybody else's comment. That was beautiful. So let's say there's a Brian Burke. He's a wonderful guy. He's got 170,000 followers. So $50 million worth of used Apple equipment so far. And he raises it like I did every month. So basically, once you reach out and they say, hey, I can learn something. The reason why Brian Burke reached out, he reached out, his first message, how the hell are you tagging so much? Because I got nailed for it or something. You know, let me know the secret. And that's how we had our call. So when you're meeting as a peer, not as a client, not as a customer, to your point, not spamming. The other thing, because I have people in my collaboration group that are shy. They're afraid to tag, right? Because they think that if they tag them, now a person's got a responsibility to respond. No, they got an opportunity. They don't choose to. I don't chase people. And if they don't want to be tagged, for sure, I don't want them to be tagged. But here's the good thing about it. What I tell the people is if you're not sure, reach out to the person. Say, I'd like to tag you in my post and get a lot of visibility for both of us. Would you be okay? Right? And the person says no, then hey, you're glad you asked, because there's so many that you can build. So in a way, it's like building your own engagement pod that's real, right? That's not just raise your hand and say yes and everybody gets fluffy numbers. And then how many do you need? Like I say, if you got 300 who are doing, and Mike knows a boatload of people who are the front lines of some great innovative businesses. That's what LinkedIn does for you, gives you that availability. Now, what you do with it, and that's what I'm saying, what currency you bring to the table. When somebody says, hey, you're ready to go, they know you got what it takes with them, right? You're not like, questioning. And I think that's the key, is see what you got, find out what it is you got by testing it, right? By saying, hey, let's have a call if you want to talk to them. And, if you don't want to talk to them, don't connect. But I tagged for 2 years, grew 38,000 people, and now have the availability. So one last thing, all of this really says is if you do the blocking and tackling, you can get really good at some finesse points like polling, like tagging, like LinkedIn Live, and you add it, and now you got booster rockets, right?
I think fundamentally, when we start LinkTank, we have an idea, a good idea what we want to talk about, and then we never know where it's going to take us. And I'm always, happy to see as we dig in deeper and show more examples, we keep, expanding the conversation. But for, many people, because we're talking about a lot of different things. We're talking about outbound and talking about inbound. We're talking about tagging. We're talking about polls. We're talking about messaging people. We're talking about, you know, when you're first starting out, pick one thing and
Mm-hmm.
do it over and over and give it, at least a month or 2 months before trying to jump around and do, so many different things. This person said that. This person said that. You'll drive yourself crazy and
Mm-hmm.
you have no opportunity to be successful because anything takes practice and dedication, and you need to be able to see how you're doing and make incremental improvements because even as Gary Vaynerchuk states, people hate going to new platforms because they're lazy. You got a million followers over here and on Twitter. TikTok comes out and you don't want to go because you got to start like everybody else from zero.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that if you're at a place right now where you've been on LinkedIn for a long time but it's not working for you, then whether it's something that Don says, whether it's something that I say or somebody else says, pick one thing and then deploy it for 30 or 60 days. And you gotta track and measure. And then you got to optimize. And you heard Don say earlier is have a conversation with somebody and find out who they're about and what they're about. And then you also will learn what they think about you because all they know about you is what you've been able to share back and forth through either what you do on your posts on LinkedIn and the conversations. And that's where you get to develop. Okay, what are people seeing me? How am I showing up? And that you need to tweak because if you're showing up, say you want to help people that are doing $1 million in online course sale get to 2 million or 5 or 10 million, but you're showing up like you're just the king of helping beginners and rookies, then it's going to show up because you're going to end up with conversations where people are very interested to talk to you about how do I get started. And that's
Mm-hmm.
not going to serve you and it's not going to serve them, even though you could, but that's not your business. So it's not going to serve them because you're not going to really spend any time or be able to help them. So all of this stuff that we talk about, it just stacks. And unless you do one thing and stick to it and get in enough conversations, understand how you're showing up, then it'll be, I'll try this, it didn't work. I try that, it didn't work. This has happened to me on Facebook so many times. Everyone's like, oh, you got to do Facebook ads and this and that. I hired this person and then I was just like, it's not working. I shut it down. I hired this person. It's not working. I shut it down. I guess some of that responsibility is mine because I didn't find the right person and stick with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I can share with you. That's my takeaway from today is that there's a lot of different opportunities. Find one thing, stick to it. If you want help and you want to be coached in terms of what you should do and as it pertains to your business, then there's a link right below here.
Mm-hmm.
It's over here. There's a link right there. Click the link, learn about LinkTank. Don and I will coach you. And then we have a community of people that are going to be similar to you that you can learn from the others as well. And you can shortcut the process. That's it. I'm done. You take
No,
us
I
home.
think no, you did great. And I think the other thing that it illuminates today or illustrates is that we have a lot of influence with a lot of important quality people on LinkedIn, right? So that people get access to that if they're justified in having access. I love to refer people if they're top of their game and someone's looking for somebody, better friend than not. And the other thing, whatever you do, and Mike's right, if you're not working it, it ain't going to work. There's no easy way. If there was, I would tell you I'd be doing it. But the hard way is better because it's like laying brick. Takes a long time, a lot of effort, but it lasts a long time. And you
And
can
nobody
build,
else wants to do it.
yeah, and you can build on it. The other thing is if you're good, if you're quality, if you're attractive, then it's getting the message out, right? LinkedIn Live gives it to you, tagging gives it to you, polling. But here's the thing. You got to work it, but you got to be smart working it. It ain't set and forget. And it's not like 3 hours a day wrote. Every day you got to ask yourself, what could I have done today, knowing what I just learned that I'll change for tomorrow? Right. And like Mike says, I did a 2-year tagging campaign every day for 2 years, 125 people. I got like 10 million views, and I could get anything I want because I never asked for anything all along the way. Right. If all I do is drop stuff off and say, have a good time, and they don't know me as anything else, when the day comes, I say, listen, I got something that's like when your kid's selling Girl Scout cookies. You got to buy them from the guy, whether you're going to eat them or not. What are you going to tell them? I'm stiffing your daughter, right? It don't make sense. So what we're saying is take what we shared today, find people that you've been working with and forgot about that are still valuable, or start creating those relationships now, right? By getting out the right messages, by telling people what they want to hear and the value it is to them, right? That's how you get in the door. You pay them. You pay whoever's at the door. Remember, in concerts in Vegas, you used to have to give the guy $20 to get on the front row. Everything was tipping. Tipping kind of like lost its art, but in LinkedIn, tipping still works. Tip in advance. You'll get anything you want, right? But you're at least proactive in managing it. So look at LinkedIn, honestly, as an investment, time, thought, energy. And I'll tell you this without a question of doubt. Joining someone who's on the move, that's really doing stuff, showing numbers. I mean, when me and Mike are sharing, we're sharing reality. We're not sharing a graph of the future. We're saying these are the people we're talking to. Here's what we're saying. And what I learned about tagging 125 people a day for 2 years, there's strength in numbers, right? When you build groups and you synchronize and coordinate their efforts, first of all, you're the ringleader, you're the facilitator, you're the cheerleader, but you're getting all the input too, right? So the group is bigger than you. So anyways, with that said, everybody go out and keep making it a good day.
Shabbat Shalom. Friday. It's Friday again. Everyone have a great weekend with your family. Spend some time, have some fun. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. If you want to be on the show, give Don and I a message. Send us a question. And I didn't even look. I'm so busy today. Hold on. We got people on the chat. Oh my gosh. We got Umar that was on the chat, and Scott and Tim and Mary and Lisa and Ty and a bunch of people. Anyway, that was my bad. I was so busy and so into.
Wow, we're getting popular, Mike. That's great.
Anyway, everyone have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone. Enjoy, share. Talk to you too.